Hi everyone, this is Steve Anderson, and this is my CIDP story. About 2 years ago, I actually felt numbness and tingling in my toes, and I thought actually it was a herniated disc in my back. Since most of my life I've been athletic and very active, working out 2, 3 times a week. I kind of figured that my back had been worn out and that I was basically going to try to find exercise or rest my way out of it. And then the, what happened must have happened very, very, very slowly because I never had the symptoms of some people where I would just feel very weak and just collapse. Actually, most of my symptoms were that my muscles were like a rock. I was just solid. I still went to the gym. I still worked out. The biggest issue I had was balance. Basically, my balance was poor. So for someone who was athletic and had a lot of balance and a lot of ability to change directions and stay up straight, and from people hitting you from side to side or back to back, that was not an issue. But balance all of a sudden became an issue, and I went to the neurologist when I actually felt the numbness starting to come in my arms from my elbows to my fingertips. That's when I went to see the neurologist. And of course, some of you CIDPers know that when you go to the neurologist, it's a bunch of tests. There was blood tests, there was examinations, there was a nerve conduction test. It was in stages. He tested, of course, legs and arms, and then that went on, of course, for several months. And then, of course, there was for the insurance guys, there was the infamous spinal tap, and that was the last proving factor was the spinal tap. When I went to the hospital and they did the tap, I believe it was 2 or 3 days before Christmas in 2014, and got the results back. And basically by the new year, the CIDP diagnosis was confirmed, and I was set up for treatment once I got approved by insurance, which was approved pretty fast. They did it within a couple 3 weeks. So then I had 8 treatments, 3 weeks apart. Um, I was never during the treatments and whatever. I basically remained the same. My I could walk for miles. I could go for a 3 mile walk and not be affected. And then once the treatments were over, that's when things started to change, because in about right after income tax day on about April the 15th or 16th, all of a sudden I got a claudation in my hip. If anybody knows what that is, that means I had a lot of pain in my hip. I couldn't walk more than a block without having to stop and take a rest. But I think that was caused by a complication I got, and not sure, can't guarantee it. Not a doctor. That the caudation might have been caused by getting a blood clot, a DVT, in my left leg. The DVT, I've read a little bit, can be caused by the IVIG, which I received. So I've had that darn blood clot now since April. It's receding. I can tell it's receding, especially now since I'm getting less and less numb on in my legs and in my feet. So, but the numbness really continued even after my treatments were done. Um, Recovery was getting very, 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 very slow, and I'm a person who does not like that kind of stuff. I've been healthy all my life. I think I should recover faster. I've always recovered pretty good from injuries and all the other things I've had in the past. So I decided that I was going to take matters in my own hands, because my neurologist is not very communicative, as you might say. I had my last nerve conduction tests around the 1st of December, and basically said, well, things are not getting worse, so your CIDP must be in remission. Oh, thank you very much. I said, great. I said, how long? He said, 6 months. 6 months, you'll start to feel better. Well, Um, that actually 6 months, I think, from the end of August is what he told me. I'm sorry. When I finished my CIDP treatments, it was 6 months. So August, September, October, November, December, January. So by January, I was supposed to feel different. I didn't. There was no difference. So I started to do more research. I posted on the Facebook group for the CIDP, and somebody led me to a product called the Rebuilder. And since January the 14th, I've been using the Rebuilder, and right now it seems to have increased the feeling now I have from the tips of my toes up through my calves. So when I first had CIDP, I was basically numb from just below my knee to my toes. I mean, I was numb. You could step on my foot, kick me in the shin, and I would never have felt it. So my arms weren't never got as bad. I think we caught it when I first got my first couple of treatments. I noticed it in my arms and hands right away that was the first things that affected. So my CIDP must have been going very, very slow over the last couple of years, and thank God for that. It seems that other people got it quicker and they went down faster. I didn't miss any work. I didn't, there wasn't much that I can still stand up and walk around then, better then than I can now. So ever since using the Rebuilder for about a month, there's definitely more feeling in my toes to my calves. I can actually start to feel some of the blood clot that's left in my leg because my left leg is still a little bit swollen. One of the things that I now go to an oncologist to make sure that it doesn't do anything stupid like get bigger, get worse, whatever. So, but we'll see when I go back in April when he takes a look at my leg again. I had another scan of my left leg just before Christmas this year or New Year's. I'm sorry, just before New Year's, and the blood clot in my left leg was still there. It was pretty massive. It was from just above my knee, I guess, all the way down into my calf. So, but I think it's receded some now. I think even the Rebuilder might even helped that because the flow is even better. It should say the Rebuilder helps the flow. So right now, I'm waiting to see. I've communicated with the Rebuilder people because you're not sure if you have CIDP like me. You're not sure what the recovery process is. Nobody told me. I guess looking at videos and other postings, it depends upon yourself, you. So again, I was in shape. I've always been in shape. I've worked out. I tried to work out at least 2 times, 3 times a week since I was 28 years old, and I'm now 60. So I've worked out a lot. I was in pretty good shape. The neurologist always thought because I was in such good shape and I was pretty strong, that's the reason why I was still walking, and I might have slowed the disease down, but I don't think anybody knows for sure about that. So anyway, so that's kind of the story. Went from terrific to slowly went numb to going through the diagnosis, um, going through all the blood tests. If you have any more blood tests, I don't know. I wouldn't have any more blood left. The spinal tap, then finally the IVIG treatments. Went through 8 of them, 3 weeks apart from basically January the 1st to August 1st. The only setback again was the blood clot I got in my left leg and the DVT, which I spent 1 day in the hospital, which was a very big precaution. But ever since then, I've been on blood thinners to make sure that if a clot breaks loose, that I won't end up giving a pulmonary embolism. So no big issue with that. I can tell the blood clot is there. It's probably slowing down recovery in my left leg. It really is. It probably really is slowing down recovery in my left leg. So anyway, I thought I'd document this wonderful little experience for the last 2 years, and I think I'm getting better. The people from Rebuilder say using their little electrodes, you basically shooting electricity through my toes and in my feet can take from anywhere from 3 to 6 months before I experience being close to being pretty good. Right now it's like, since the rebuilder actually excuse me, stimulates your muscles. Besides shooting a little electricity through your nerves, it creates atrophy because my feet basically have been numb, and those muscles are changing. They're getting exercise that they haven't gotten exercised that way probably in a few years. So we'll see. Basically, by the one thing using the rebuilder that I'm experiencing is I am good in the morning, strong. I don't walk well because I walk with a gait. If anybody that's had like MS, they walk kind of not normal. Well, that's the way I walk right now. And then by the end of the day, after I've been walking around to work for a while, and I'm walking back out to the car and up the ramp, my feet are like pillows. So it feels weird. We'll see how long this lasts, and we'll document another one of these videos here sometime in another month or so, so everybody can maybe educate, learn from what I've been going through. I think I'm also going to post a little video of me walking to show you what happens in your walking experience when you're going through this wonderful experience of recovering from CIDP.